You got 7 other cases pending?
Those are Tyler, somewhere in
I
Tyler.
don't care if they're,
I'm going to address
as long as they're on this planet.
I think
I mean, you're committing crimes here. You can go to prison for a long time if you added all this stuff up. And you got a child at home?
that's right.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
come on. But on one hand, you say, well, I'm suffering because one of my children were taken away from me, but you have a child at home that's you're responsible for, and you've got all these crimes? That doesn't make any sense. Ma'am, the 3rd-degree felony of evading arrest, or detention with a motor vehicle. That's a 3rd-degree felony, which carried with it up to 10 years in prison. The agreement here is that whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 5 years in prison. So we are looking at no less than 2, no more than 5 years confinement in prison. Deferred or unadjudicated probation can be assessed. I'm about to sneeze. The pollen is out there, folks. Also, you could be sentenced.
I had lost my daughter, and I was kind of spiraled out of control.
When?
Let's see, about 4 years ago.
What was the date?
When I lost my daughter.
Yes.
But
You certainly know that.
No, she didn't.
We all know when we lose a child
CPS.
exactly the moment that happened.
Well, it wasn't. She didn't pass or nothing. It was the CPS. I lost her to CPS.
Oh,
Yes. So.
why?
Because her father got caught with drugs.
Because of her father? You
Well,
lost?
yes, sir. So
That's not the way it works.
Well, he had said that I was a dangerous child.
Well, they must articulate some reason.
Right.
Okay. Nonetheless, so do you have any children? Ask.
I have 13-year-old.
That's in your care.
Yes, sir.
What about that? I mean, you're committing crimes here. You can go to prison for a long time if you added all this stuff up. And you got a child at home?
that's right.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
come on. But on one hand, you say, well, I'm suffering because one of my children were taken away from me, but you have a child at home that's you're responsible for, and you've got all these crimes? That doesn't make any sense. Ma'am?
I was kind of hanging around the wrong people.
Whose choice was that? Okay, what else? See, these are your choices, like we all make it. These are fixes by doing the right thing. You know it's the right choice. We all know. You consciously continue to make the wrong choice.
That's right.
Which I wish you wouldn't do. Not only for your sake, for your family.
What is missing from this PSI is what they found in her car that I hope explains why it is that she was running. According to the officer's report, when they inventoried her vehicle, they found a checkbook inside her purse that belonged to another individual by the name of Elizabeth or Martin Graham. In addition to that, they
Who was that?
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
All right, go ahead.
In addition to that, they
I know
found,
all the checkbooks in my car. I know whose they are.
they
I think
found
everybody pretty much does.
They found an EBT card and Social Security card that belonged to a Joyner Glover. In the same stack of those cards located
Who's
was
that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
7 medical insurance cards, another Social Security card, a different state Texas driver's license card, 2 bank cards, a different food stamp card, 2 scrap metal cash transaction cards, all belonging to other individuals. Now, Your Honor knows
Or
that,
other names.
right, that could have been a separate offense altogether. And why they didn't charge that's a law enforcement decision as far as that's concerned. But this certainly explains conduct underlying as to why the state of Texas feels that probation was offered to her in Orange County. That resulted in a motion to revoke probation because of this offense. It's why she was revoked and given the 18-month state jail time. She had and again, I don't understand why Tyler County's 8 pending charges. You said 7. I don't know why these weren't resolved prior to her going on probation, because those offenses.
Yeah, I'm only counting 7 here in the pre-sentence.
I counted.
But that's
I may have miscounted, Judge.
Well, I don't think there's a substantial difference there.
There's
There's a lot.
There's two
Too many.
misdemeanors and 6 felonies. They all arise from February 16th of 2023, all along the lines of the kinds of things that we're talking about. Evading. There's an obvious trend here about the criminal activity that's obviously present here on this date that we're dealing with. So it's no wonder they're waiting to see what Your Honor's going to do on this case before they decide what to do here. I know that if she was on our probation here and that was ours, I'd be asking for prison time. Just because the fact that it's in a different county and we've got this same deal, I don't take a different position. She had her chance. There's not a reason why we should reward her for successfully not killing anybody on that day and give her probation. That's not what's warranted here. And then what really says a lot about this is when you get into the PSI's writing here, and she's talking to this person that's giving you this report, she doesn't seem worried at all about it. That's when she's having her candid one-on-one conversation before she appears here. And that's what the officer writes here on underneath the recommendations. She refers to her pro-social and anti-social behavior throughout the interview. Those are comments that have just not been addressed by anything that we've.
All right, if nothing further, I'm going to find the defendant has pleaded guilty in this case voluntarily. She's mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in this plea hearing to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this 3rd-degree felony of evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle. I am following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 4 years, and you will be given credit for all time you have served, which isn't much. But you have these other cases.
Yes.
And